Hello, and welcome to another edition of Living with Autism from the Autistic Point of View. And today, my talk will be about the presidential candidates' positions on assisting and supporting persons with disabilities. And here I have, or I'm supposed to have, as my panelists, presidential candidate Marco Rubio, presidential candidate Rand Paul, and presidential candidate Theodore Cruz, all from the Republican Party, and I would like to ask them a few questions. Now, the first question I would like to ask my esteemed candidates, from the Republican Party, is why have you spent your political careers promulgating and enacting social policies which are extremely damaging and detrimental to the disabled? Can I have Senator, Ted Cruz, can I have your opinion, please? Thank you, Senator Ted Cruz of the fine state of Texas, on explaining your policies. Was it related to persons with physical and developmental disabilities, within your state and also at the national level? Now, Marco Rubio, how do you feel about the the enactment of policies, which your state of Florida has enacted, which are detrimental to the physical and developmental disabilities? And also, why have you, Marco Rubio, been a part of the dismantling of the social services network, that is supposed to assist persons with physical and developmental disabilities? I'd like your opinion, please. Here at during New Hampshire Community Public Access Television, we pride ourselves on asking the correct and very tough questions which you, the voters, want to have asked and want to have all presidential candidates to totally answer truthfully and honestly, with no guile or deception. And so far, Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Marco Rubio have not answered any questions today here on my television program, Living with Autism from the Autistic Point of View. Now let me ask Senator Rand Paul from the illustrious state of Kentucky, his opinion on with the religious freedom bills, which would not only allow businesses, in state agencies to discriminate against persons of who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, but will also permit discrimination against persons with disabilities, and allow the businesses, to essentially use the Bible to get out of making accommodations and serving people with disabilities, in their businesses. Now, Senator Rand Paul, how do you answer that charge? How do you answer this question, which many of the New Hampshire voters, especially my audience in the town of Derry, New Hampshire, they would like to take a know about why you favor restoration of religious freedom to permit business owners to openly discriminate against persons with disabilities. Thank you, Senator Rand Paul, for your comments today. It seems that all three of the major Republican Party presidential candidates, Senator Rand Paul, Senator Marco Rubio, or Governor Marco Rubio, and Senator Ted Cruz, do not want to answer any of these questions, because all three of you have pretty much, standing on your records, your legislative and voting records, as being very hostile towards all of us persons with disabilities, whether it be autism, Asperger's autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, or any other disability. And that all three of you have pursued policies which could be totally summed up in the two words social Darwinism, where which has been fashionable since the late 19th century. Which, of course, we would like to know really why, as Bible-believing, church-going Christians, you really want to up and stick it to persons with physical and developmental disabilities, and also persons with mental illnesses. There are many myths which Senator presidential candidate Marco Rubio, presidential candidate Ted Cruz, and presidential candidate Rand Paul have promulgated in the media stating that all persons with disabilities totally live high off the hog, on government benefits. The sad fact about it is that this is a totally false, propaganda statement. The vast majority of all persons with disabilities live in abject poverty. And most persons with disabilities are either, even if they could work, many times, they just simply cannot choose not to work because, the way society's perceptions are that persons with disabilities are only good for, warehousing in sheltered workshops where they're given at most a sub-minimum wage, which can be as low as 10 cents per hour. And many of these sheltered workshops have clients that work 40 hours a week. Those who are clients, disabled clients, who are the more able, who end up in the sheltered workshop system. And essentially, sheltered workshops, unlike, my guests here, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Rand Paul, think that sheltered workshops are totally good and right places for persons with disabilities. But I say no. What sheltered workshops are simply institutionalization and slavery, which is outlawed by the United States Constitution. Which in the constitutional amendment that was passed after the American Civil War more than 160 years ago. So my esteemed presidential candidates, how do you feel about coming here today to answer for your misguided and bigoted attitudes that you three have towards us persons with disabilities?